What up, everyone? Welcome to Minor League Important, the podcast where we talk about minor league sports. I'm your host, Kevin Marlowe. I'm joined here by my co-host, Dylan Little. Dylan, how you doing, bud?
Hey, not too. How am I doing? I'm not doing too bad. I can't talk today. Anyway, no, I'm good. Just normal stuff. Working and taking care of kids. They're
Nice.
about to start freaking preschool in a couple weeks, which is crazy.
Dang.
But yeah, man.
I remember when they were born.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right, and then we're also joined here by Ryan Baker. Ryan, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Kevin, I'm doing great. Just starting week 2 of school already. So,
Dang.
yeah, we're back
Crazy.
in the swing of things. Summer's over, and we got the kids back in school.
Yeah, and then we're also joined here by Colin Scholl. Colin, what's up, man?
Well, nothing much, Kevin. Just enjoying the nice weather we're having outside, and glad to be working outside instead of inside a factory all day long. So
Yeah.
that's something to be appreciative for.
Yep. Well, and then tonight we are joined here by our first player on the podcast. We're joined here by Parker Rutherford. Parker, how you doing, man?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. So Parker has been a goalie in professional hockey for some years now. He's got a lot of experience. He's played in the ECHL as backup for the Fuel and the Komets. You wanna just kind of tell us your journey, Parker, of like how you started, where you went to college, and all that, and how you got to where you're at today?
Yeah, for sure. It's a long journey, so I'll try and give you the Spark Notes version. But yeah, I'm born and raised in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Nice.
When I was growing up, it wasn't really the hockey town that it is today. That's back when the Komets were in like the UHL.
Yeah.
Those were the great days. There's the enforcer days. It was crazy. So nothing was really pushing you towards wanting to be a goalie per se.
Right.
But I went through the house leagues and learned to skate as a skater, actually. I was a skater for the first few years, just doing house league and a few different leagues at the old McMillan Ice Arena. Um, and after a few years, we got to that point where there was just no goalies to play any games at all. And they were taking volunteers to just play goalie for random games. And it was my turn that week. And it was amazing. I had a great time, mostly because I didn't have to take turns. I hated
Yep.
taking line changes with a passion because I didn't want to
get
get off
that.
the ice. I wasn't tired yet.
No.
So that's what really drew me to it. And then I started paying more attention because I was a Comet season ticket member almost my whole life.
Right. Yeah.
Or watching Kevin St. Pierre. I was like, this is cool. Like scoring goals is cool and all, but saving them is just as cool. So that's kind of where I took off as a goalie. I still skated out here and there just to, keep hockey fun a little bit. 'Cause you don't want to get burnt out, especially at that age.
Yeah.
I was in Fort Wayne with youth hockey for years and years up through high school hockey. I played for Snyder my freshman, sophomore, and junior year before moving away to play juniors. But all my youth hockey was all done in Fort Wayne, which a lot of people can't really say that have been playing at the pro levels of saying that you stayed in your hometown almost through high school and still making it to like the ECHL or something like that. So the majority of my youth hockey was done right here, right down the road from me, which is pretty cool.
Nice. So what all teams have you played for then?
I played, so it was like the junior Komets back in the day for youth hockey. I made my way up. I played for AWP Sports, which was a AAA team. It's a gym here in Fort Wayne. They used to sponsor hockey. They don't anymore. Then I played for Snyder in high school. I moved away and I played for the Pittsburgh Kings as my first junior team. It was in Connellsville, Pennsylvania, up in the mountains. It was crazy first experience. I played there, and then I played 2 years in Wisconsin for the Wisconsin Rapids River Kings in the USPHL Premier. For the Fort Wayne people, it's in the same exact league, same division as the Fort Wayne Spacemen are now.
Okay.
So that's the level that I played at. And then I went to college and I went to Robert Morris University, which is right down the road from Connellsville in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I just fell in love with the area so much, and I toured the university there, and I just fell in love with it, and I decided I wanted to stay there for college.
Nice. And then your pro teams?
And then pro, So my first actual contract that I signed was a PTO with the Blue Ridge Bobcats in the Federal Prospects Hockey League. But the first actual like contract you're getting paid for was with the Fort Wayne Komets.
Nice.
Was in training camp,
Nice.
which was really
Nice.
cool. My first ever paycheck was from my hometown team, which is something
That's
super
awesome.
cool that nobody can ever
Heck
really
yeah.
take away from you.
Yeah.
So Blue Ridge didn't work out, but I went to the Komets, and then after that, I was in Elmira, New York, for the Elmira River Sharks. That was a short-lived, short-lived team. And then I ended up on the Baton Rouge Zydeco down in Louisiana. And then last year, I was with the Dashers Hockey Club in Danville, Illinois.
Yeah. When were you with the Fuel done?
The Fuel was a one-game e-bug thing. It
Okay.
would have been
All
the
right.
same. That was the same year that I was in camp with the Komets.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. I know I've seen pictures of you on the bench with the Fuel jersey on. I
But
couldn't.
yeah, that was a crazy experience. I didn't really, I didn't get a chance to practice with those guys or anything, so it doesn't really
Right.
come to memory at first. But that was a crazy experience. I'll never forget.
Yeah. So what is it like sitting there in a pro level of having a slap shot like rocketed at you? And like, I mean, everybody says goalies are a little crazy because you want to get hit with the puck. Like, what is that like to like? Is the adrenaline take over? Do you feel it very often? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, it's the old cliche thing that I'm sure everybody's heard, but people don't really believe until you do it, is you're afraid of taking a really hard slap shot, but you're more afraid of letting it in, right? Because everybody else's job, like if you mess up, it's whatever. Nobody even notices, right? But
Yeah.
if a goalie messes up, there's a big horn that goes off, a light, and 5,000 people either cheer or boo for you. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
it's terrifying.
Yep.
But in terms of it actually hurting, it depends. Gear is pretty intense nowadays, but
Yeah.
it does sting, especially if you catch it, in the face, or the collarbone is really tough. Collarbone
Yeah.
will sting a lot. Even if you just like catch it in your actual glove, the vibration, everything will shake your arms. It's crazy, but you don't really have enough time to get scared because you see him wind up, you close your eyes, and before you know it, the puck's hit you and gone already. It's moving that fast. Looking back at it, you're like, oh yeah, I probably should have been scared, but I don't really have enough time to be.
Good. Well, I mean, Parker, I remember our team New Precision there when you were goalie for one of the tournaments. You got a hit in the head by a player. I don't remember his name, but it was kind of a cheap shot. And then you came to the sidelines. I told you what a great save it was. You're like, I saved it?
Yeah. You get so locked in, and you just
yeah.
sometimes you just don't feel it either.
You just like out of nowhere, your glove came up and saved it, and it sent the that tournament game to overtime, and then you just looked so dazed after that because you got beamed in the head. It was a cheap shot. Knowing our team, I'm surprised nobody fought that guy. Although there was some fighting after that game,
there was
but
a
we
lot
won't
of
get
fighting. I do remember that game like it was yesterday. I have a bad memory with all the pucks to the head, but I do remember that game.
But all right. Well, just so you know, Parker, Dustin wanted me to bring up your New Precision times on playing in beer league. So
I love Dustin. I love the New Precision crew.
Yeah. So that's my hockey team for those of you watching. And Parker's been goalie on that and has also played against us in our in the Coliseum League.
As a skater.
Yes. Yeah. No, so we've also played against each other in roller too, that I didn't quite realize until you and I got closer.
Yeah.
But we won't talk about my roller days because my team was horrible. My team was horrible.
Great roller.
No, they were a lot of fun, but my team was horrible. We tied, or we got 1 point in 3 years. So
that's fair. I've been there. I've been there. It's fun though.
Yeah, no. So anyways, back to your pro days. And then you also were with the Distillers too on this awesome run there at the end after the Dashers season ended, right?
Correct. Yep. After my Dashers season ended, you guys with the Distillers were going into playoffs.
Yeah.
I think I made the whole run, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool, and it was great of them to be able to like let me join the team late. I know if I were on the team, I wouldn't have been probably so lax about it. I'd been like, why is this guy coming out of nowhere trying to,
Yeah.
join last second for
Mhm.
playoffs? But everybody was really cool, and it meant a lot to me to be with them because I was a big part of helping that come together with the early meetings and trying to set goals with the management there. So that was cool.
Yeah. Well, and what was really cool is that your dad was the goalie coach. So
That is
that
really
was
good. He
that
is.
was yeah. No, your dad's awesome. So but I mean, you played in the finals too. You were on the goalie rotation for the championship too.
I played one of the semifinal games, and then I played one period of the championship
Oh,
series, just because
yeah.
I felt it felt wrong taking time away from those guys that have been there all year.
Yeah.
So they let him start both games in the finals. Unfortunately, we lost the first one in Fort Wayne. Wasn't a great start, so we had to go all the way up to Buffalo to finish the series.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I was hoping to start the second game, but after some, time thinking, I had a long season already with the Dashers, and he'd been there all year, so we let him play. It got out of hand after the second period or so, so they decided to let me go in there and finish it, and that was cool
Yeah.
to be able to do.
Cool. Yeah, no, Ryan was actually there for game one. We were at
Mhm.
every round of the playoffs, except for the finals. We did a live stream, but we kind of streamed the game until then. Management was great, let us get all sorts of access. I'm sure you saw us there
Yeah.
for some of that, but yeah. So
Yeah,
what was
speaking of that, the
oh,
pizza there is absolutely delicious.
Of course.
I don't know if you've
Every
ever
time.
jumped in on that pepperoni and sausage from the old Ice House.
anytime
It's a top
we
tier pizza.
mention the Ice House, the Distillers, Ryan will go on about the pizza. It's an on-running gag.
That's not even a
Maybe
gag. That stuff's amazing.
Telling you, it used to be better. It used to be better when it was Canlan. It was like the best pizza I've ever had, and now I haven't had it in a while, but it was pretty good. I'm not gonna complain.
yeah, dang. So all right, now that we've plugged PSM's pizza again, that'll be another clip. Like your time in with the Dashers, like describe that, because the Fed is a very different league than any of like the NHL, the AHL, or the ECHL. So describe your time there.
Yeah, the Fed is a beast. It is a beast. Like, you don't know what you're getting into until you're in it. You hear all the horror stories, you hear all the great stories. You're like, I don't know which end I'm getting here. And it's all true. There's nothing anybody can tell you to prepare you for what you get into in the Fed. Um, I had a little bit of taste with Blue Ridge and training camp, and
Yeah,
I was with Elmira and Baton Rouge, my actual rookie year. But I didn't get to play at all. I got one period with Elmira against, they would go on to be the FPHL champions that year against Binghamton, and we were already down by 8 when I went in. So that didn't really feel like a legit game to me. Um, but I got a little bit of the taste, and it's a legit league. Like, people are quick to judge it and all this stuff because of the enforcers and certain videos and things that you hear, which honestly I was there too. Um, but when you're actually in it, you realize it's legit. There's some real hockey players in there. There's some real competition, real skill there. But with the Dashers, it was my first full season. I didn't know what I was getting into. I just wanted to make a team. After my first year, I was like, I gave myself 3 years. If it didn't go well after 3 years, it was just going to be time to hang them up. Year one, I was leaning towards hanging them up. Year two, I was like, all right, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I'm going to go in as hard as I can. Whatever happens, happens. Um, I went in not feeling the best into Danville training camp because I already had two goalies coming in. Probably another goalie that I trained with I know is really good. So I didn't like my chances. But after about 2 days of camp, my coach pulled me aside and he said, I don't want you to skate the rest of the week. And I was like, already got cut? You gotta be kidding me. He's like, you're my starter. And I was like, oh. He's like, yes, I want you to sit on the bench and help me pick your backup. I go, oh man, this is not what I expected. And I didn't even know I liked it. I was like, this
That's a
just
big
feels weird.
decision
It's a
too.
big decision. I
Sheesh.
was like, do I pick the guy with the most competition? Or do I pick somebody that's not gonna do so great so I can
Get more starts.
Exactly. And I got to know some of the goalies, and my eventual goalie partner was named Oscar, and he was from Sweden, and he was a great guy. And we split most of the way, and I'm so glad I went with Oscar because I don't think I could have been able to play all those games at the very beginning. With mostly just mental. Physical is one thing, but mentally is just so tough, especially in the Fed. But everybody knows how that year went. It's in the past now. One of the best years of my life, but nothing could have prepared me for what that was.
You became kind of like a fan favorite, weren't you?
Yeah, yeah. It was a great community. I loved everything about it. They were great people, and they really surrounded me, especially when all the losses were coming. And every night I was like, just go out there and do everything you can. Just keep it close. Keep it close. People will notice. And whether scouts or other teams noticed is one thing. I can't really speak for them, but the fans did, and they let me know it, and that was what kept me going. To be honest with you, like my own pride is one thing, but like it's their pride too. That was my first time actually playing pro for a different city other than Fort Wayne, and that's what they wanted to do on their weekends. They spent their hard working money that they worked hard for to come watch us lose. So like, let's not completely embarrass everybody here. And it was just a different type of pride that you wanted to play for with all those people there. So it was really cool.
Yeah. Is there a team you're looking are you going to be playing for this season?
Not really sure. It's up in the air. When Danville folded, they did a dispersal draft. And basically, the other teams in the league just got to pick and choose who they wanted off the Dashers and the Motor City Rockers, who also folded. So I had no say in who took my rights. I ended up getting selected by the Indiana Sentinels, which is only 2 hours away from Fort Wayne, maybe 2.5, which is cool. But they're also a brand new team, and they're in a community rink, so they're still trying to figure out, the financial and all those different sides of it to get set up. And I've talked to them, and we're still trying to figure out what direction we want to go, if I should sign there or if they're going to try and move me somewhere else. We're trying to do what's best for both parties, and they're still in the middle of trying to set up their own system. So I'm hoping I'll know before the end of August, but time will tell. I have until the end of
Yep.
September, technically.
All right. Well, just thought we'd ask. What would you say is like one of the hardest parts that like people may not think about being a goalie? Like, sure, stopping the puck and like being able to, but like, what's something that most people would think about that would be your opinion, the most difficult part about being a goalie?
Personally, it's definitely the mental side, like I said. The physical side is really tough. I'll go on to the physical side first. Just when people go to watch hockey, even if it's just Komets games, they take a shot from the blue line and it goes in. Everybody wants to boo that goalie that gets scored on, right? Like, why wouldn't you save that? Blah, blah. If you're actually there, you can see how fast that puck is moving. And then you don't see the other factors. You don't see the other forces in play. You don't see there's a player 10 feet in front of him that's standing in the way. So he never saw the puck coming. Or say a player bumped his leg while he was moving up to like stop the puck. Like that's a big factor too, but people just don't see that. Um, so that's a big thing about goalies. You just don't really see everything that's going on or hear everything. Like if there's more than one option on a play, you're watching both at the same time. But people just think you're hyper focused on that puck, which you're not. You have a million things to worry about. And that's also part of the mental part too, is how difficult it is and you're focusing on how hard it is. But then if you get scored on, people are really, really quick to tear you down. You're either the hero or the villain every single night,
Mhm.
So it's tough. Like I said, every time you make a mistake, everybody knows it. There's no hiding it. But
Yeah.
it's also my favorite thing in the world because you can also be the hero. And it's just
Right.
not something everybody could do. So
Yeah.
that's probably the toughest parts about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that part. I remember going to Comets games after we started that Coliseum League and watching somebody fall, and somebody's like, "Oh, you know, you're a pro skater," and I'm like, "No, there's actually a pretty nasty rut on that, you know, that portion of the ice." Like, and it's like, you know, you start to really think about that once you've actually played, even like just playing on that ice, you start to realize things. But like I know what you're talking about like not being able to see, and people, but your own players will bump into you sometimes trying to push a guy out, and they'll bump you, so it's not even goaltender interference.
Yep.
So yeah,
Exactly.
that's
And it's just like
yep.
the size. Like, I'm not the biggest guy in the world. So imagine putting an NFL linebacker on skates,
Uh,
standing in front of
Yeah.
you, being like, all right,
Yep.
look through him, save this puck, coming 100
Scary.
miles an hour. Like,
Monstrous.
it ain't that easy.
Right. Yeah. No, and even if you do make the save, you can't always control where your rebound's going. So like it's in order to make the save at all, you have to put a portion of your pad, and it's not going to be the best rebound ever. And if your guys aren't defending the guys right there in front of the net, they're just gonna pop it in. So
Exactly. It's
yeah.
the fraction of a second that you see the puck.
Yep.
And that's if you see it. If you see the whole
Mhm.
thing, technically you should be able to redirect the rebound somewhere else. But
Right.
say you don't see it, it's just going to hit you. And before you know it, it could be on somebody else's stick real
Yep.
quick. And you
Mhm.
can't read it. It's too tough.
Yep. Nope. That's why I have 2 goals.
There you go.
But no, you were talking about it being you know, probably more mental than
Yeah.
physical.
Mhm.
We were actually at a Comets game, and they were playing the Wings one night, and we were walking during the second period. We were walking down near the locker rooms, and the Kalamazoo goalie just got pulled.
Yeah.
And as soon as he got pulled, dude, you could hear it. You could hear it from the from where you walk
Mhm.
around everywhere, just screaming cuss words. And I was just like, man, that's definitely mental for
Yeah,
sure.
it is really tough. I've been pulled by a fair amount. It is so mentally tough because especially those games where you feel well and you just don't get the bounces. You don't see the puck coming, you
Mhm.
get bad bounces,
Mhm.
you get pulled,
Yep.
and everybody's like,
Yep.
"Oh, it's not on you. We just had to change momentum." But like, you can't just tell yourself that, right? You gotta be like, there
Yeah.
had to be something I could do more. There's always something I have to do better. And it's just so tough to wrap your head around. Sometimes you want to cry. Sometimes you want to scream. Sometimes you just want to quit altogether. Sometimes you're like, okay, it wasn't my night. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just
it brought
so
a
hard.
whole new meaning to like what they're doing when they're taking off their equipment or just getting ready to sit on the bench. But yeah, usually I always thought, you know, goalies went back there, kind of just sat in the locker room for a hot second and then came back up. But no, they really scream out their feelings for sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we heard a stick rack get thrown over while we were walking by too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, there are different types of goalies. There's the ragers, there's the criers, there's the it wasn't my problem kind of guys, you know. I wish
Yeah.
I could be one of those, but I'm more it just depends on the day, you know. It's I don't know.
Do you see
Sometimes it's
more of the
not a good day.
ragers? Do you see more of the ragers than anything?
I don't know. I'm between. I see more of the ragers and the there's not much I could do there. You know,
Yeah.
people are getting taught to be like, if it's not your night, it's not your night. But some people take it more tough. I take it tough because I'm like, I'm in this spot. Like this is where I wanted to be my whole life. Like you need to be perfect. But in reality,
Yeah.
after the game and you take your gear off and shower, you're like, there really is nothing I could have done. Especially if you go back and watch the game and you're like,
Yeah.
wow, yeah, that was not really my
Yep.
fault. But
Good old shower thoughts, huh?
oh,
Well, you know, you watch
the
the game and you're
post-shower
like, well, that
thoughts.
was that defender's fault. That was that defender.
Yeah.
It's like I don't like that guy anymore. He's not getting the Christmas card.
Exactly. You watch it back, you're like, wow, I'm not crazy. It was just me against the world. You just don't really know how to do it. But it's, yeah, the shower thoughts when you go back and you think about it and watch it again, you can be a little, you know, you can take it easy on yourself. But either way, it just sucks, you know, because like players don't have to deal with that. Nobody else really has to deal with that. It's imagine like a NFL quarterback throwing an interception and getting pulled out of a game.
Uh-huh.
You'd be like, okay, I made a mistake. My bad. Let me try again. But goalies
Yeah.
don't get that chance.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about the skater aspect of it? They only have to worry about their plus minus. You have to worry about your goals against average. And I feel like the plus minus is definitely not what not as important as a goals against average.
No,
Sure.
not at all. And the plus minus, they get screw up. You can touch the ice for 1 second, get a plus as long as the team scores.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And like if you go to a game, like a professional game, even a youth game, you'd have a really hard time if you watched one player pointing out all of his mistakes, because odds are only he knows them, because you don't know what that play was supposed to be or which route he should have taken or what his line mate was thinking. But goalie, you can obviously tell when something goes wrong or if he looks
Yeah.
uncomfortable or rattled. So
I think goalies need to start calling the defenseman, being like, "Hey, if that goal's on you."
yeah, there are definitely
Like I'm not the only one taking the crap today.
I've seen a few Komets games where Nick Boucher back in the new eye, him and Henley would get into it because I think Henley got in the way a few times, and you can see Bouche just kind of push him and whatnot, and they get in a little scuff on the ice.
Yeah, he is a world-class rager. I love Bouche, but he is a world-class rager.
Remember that Superman punch?
I sure
from
do.
all the way at the opposite
I
end.
was there. Yeah, Boucher was one of my
Yeah.
goalie coaches growing up. He's a great guy, but yeah, he is one to throw a stick wreck. Oh yeah.
He
So
definitely
have
looks
you
like
ever been in a
somebody I would've-
fight?
I was in a fight last year, my first ever fight last year, in front of a sold-out crowd in Binghamton, New York, in an AHL arena.
Nice.
Oh, mid-ice, yeah, center ice. It was just, I blacked out, completely blacked out. It was wild. It was just the game wasn't going well. He kept taunting me. He kept asking for it. I was like, dude, back off. Like, it's a 2-goal game, 1-goal game. And for Danville, frankly, that's a really close game. So I was like,
Yeah.
if I come out of this game, I'm sewering my partner and the team. Like, it's just not a great idea. And then the third period started, and they just started popping them. I was one of those nights, I was like, all right, I couldn't have done anything about that. But then the fans and the players and the goalie starts laying into you, and eventually you just see red. And the goalie starts hitting one of my players behind the net, and I was like, you know what? Screw this. And I started charging the center ice, and he was like, oh, okay. The closer he got to me, I was like, okay, we're pretty close. We're pretty close to size. Nah, I just kept looking up. Oh, he's a big boy. From far away, you're like, oh, he's probably 6 foot, right? No, he was all 6'3". I'm 5'9". It's not gonna work. But I did take boxing lessons when I was in juniors in Wisconsin. And he was
smart.
like, listen.
Nice.
He's like, listen, if you're gonna win a fight or just not get beat up, you're gonna need some serious help. I was like, ouch, but okay. He's like, just make sure like you really load on your back right arm to make it look like you want to throw a haymaker at this guy. But in reality, just throw a quick left jab. That'll catch him off guard. They'll be stunned. Get him to the ground. Get him to the ground. Get the fight over.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking the whole time, I was like, oh man, I gotta lay something on him. And I did exactly what I thought I wanted to do. Pulled back, but I got him with a really good left jab. He looked at me, shocked. I looked at him, shocked. And I was like, oh, he's mad. And I was like, you gotta get this to the ground now. So I grabbed him by the collar and I yanked him down. I went for a haymaker. I missed, but I got him with my elbow. So that took him to the ground. I didn't get hit once. And I was like, yep,
Nice.
retiring. Done
Yep.
from
Retiring.
Never fighting again.
Let's go.
That's
It
all.
was wild. The video's out there somewhere. It was crazy.
I'm gonna have to see if I can
Yeah,
find that. We'll
find
have to
it.
Yeah.
overlay it.
Put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danville
That's
definitely
crazy. You hit him with your elbow too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you'll see.
I want that on the stat sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh.
And then my only thing was, I couldn't breathe. I was just so worked up because I've never been in a fight before. So that post-fight adrenaline, you feel like you want to run through a brick wall.
Yeah.
One of my enforcers got kicked out in the same line brawl, and he comes back. We both get kicked out. And he was just like, "You all right?" I was like, "No, I feel like my heart's gonna explode. My mom's gonna kill me." It's a whole thing. And he's just like, and when I was in the locker room, before I even got my jersey off, he has his phone out and he's watching the fight. He's like, I was in a fight at the same time. I want to see what you did. And I was like, I don't remember. And he goes,
I don't.
I'm good. he helped me calm down, and that was a crazy feeling. I've never felt that in my life, and I never want to feel it again.
What'd your dad say?
I was waiting for a text, so I never got a text from my mom. I usually do after every game, good or bad. I didn't get a text from her for like a few minutes, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm disowned." Because it was a day, I think it was a day or two before we went home for Christmas break, and I was like, "Yep, I'm not gonna have a home to go back to."
Yeah.
I texted her and I said, "I'm sorry," and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Good fight." That was it.
Yeah, let's go,
Yeah.
Mom.
And then my dad, Big Joe is what they call him. He just goes, "Nice fight." My man of very few words. He just says, "Nice fight." Never anything else. But that was a really cool moment. I'm glad it's done and over with because I never want to do that again.
For sure.
What's funny though is that one of my first memories of your dad was there was a guy in our roller league that everybody hated. I'm not going to say the team name, but I'm sure you remember what team this is. And in the tournament, my first year, like I said, everybody hated this guy. And all of a sudden, I see your dad just take him and throw him down on the ice, or well, not the ice, the floor, and just pummel him. And everybody was just cheering, Joey, Joey, Joey.
Yep. Yeah. And then I'm always second man in. And then my mom's always third man in to yell at us since it's tough. She yells at him. I catch the backlash. How do you let your dad do that? It's like, he started it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't realize roller hockey got that scrappy, honestly.
Oh yeah, it
gets real
can.
scrappy, especially with no gear on. If you hit somebody the wrong way, it's gonna hurt, and then guys just don't take it well. Especially
And then in
the high level.
Miha, in the Miha tournaments, you can fight. Like it's allowed.
Yeah, it's 5-minute
So-
fighting, just like an ice.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have the guys that mix beer league and Miha, they're just used to fighting. And then you get the
Yep.
beer leaguers that are like, I didn't mean to like start anything. I was just, trying to instigate, but didn't think anybody would actually do anything about it. My dad will mix it up, and then I get dragged into it, or vice
Yeah.
versa.
What's hilarious is your dad is like one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So, like you said, soft spoken, but just all of a sudden he just like threw that guy to the ground, and it was great.
Oh yeah, very soft-spoken guy, but he's very competitive, just like me.
Mm-hmm.
He's also
Yep.
had his fair share of surgeries and all this stuff, and he's just trying to play for fun. So if somebody hits him the wrong way, he's quick to snap.
Well, those are the people you don't really want to get angry either, because you don't want to poke the bear. Like, they'll be nice at first, and then you just keep pushing your luck. Those are the last that you don't want to make him angry, for
No,
sure.
exactly. And
No.
I warn everybody because I usually know everybody in those leagues, and I'm like, just chill. And then before I know it, they do it again. I was like, dude, I told you. Like, why? You did this to yourself.
There's a few in our in the Coliseum League like that.
Yeah,
On all teams.
I know quite a few too. Yep, I sure do.
Yep.
It's like those people. It's like those people that go extra hard in high school gym class for no reason.
Yes, exactly. For no reason. If you want to try as hard as you can and be good, be my guest, but don't be a scumbag too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
No.
I agree.
So have you scored a goalie goal?
I have not. I'm honestly too afraid to try. I want to, but I don't want to be that guy that tries
Not
it.
even in beer league?
Nobody really pulls their goalie in beer league. I don't know. I've always wanted to try it. I've always wanted to try it, but I'm like one of those weird goalies. So some goalies, they're left-handed, so they just shoot left-handed as a goalie. But I shoot right as a player and left as a goalie. So I don't have the same kind of strength as some other goalies do, shooting their natural way.
You'd almost have to throw the glove off and flip the stick.
Basically, I can get it down there. I just can't get it in the air all the way across.
Right.
Because that is a different type of strength.
Yeah, because you have to saucer it up and over everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try it sometime, but we got to be winning a game first.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Well, I mean, if the rest of your team's not scoring, you might as well start dumping it down there.
Yeah,
I had a nickel for every
easy.
time I heard that one. You're so good. Your team just can't score. If they can't do it, why can't you? They just need you to do everything. So I wish I could. I wish.
Now, have you ever thought about going back to being a skater at the level you're at right now?
I've thought about it, but then you see the linebackers on skates, and you're like, no, I like my life. You know,
Uh-huh.
if I were the size of them, it'd be one thing. But they hit like head-on collisions, like car crashes, and there's just not a chance I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even just getting hit while I'm playing goalie by accident, those things will knock you out cold. But like, I just don't have the size to be doing it at my level right now. That's why I like roller, is because you can go fly around, but it's non-contact technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be getting your head taken off, but there's some of those days. But I do enjoy skating out every summer, as Kevin knows.
Yeah.
That's usually how I stay in shape. It's better than being on a treadmill, So it's a really good cardio workout.
You ever wonder how some of those professional guys in the NHL do it, like Marty St. Louis?
Oh yeah,
Like, dude is super, like one of the smallest forwards in the league, and could still like put numbers up on the board. It's
yeah,
crazy.
and they call goalies crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
They are the crazy ones, not us.
Yeah, for sure.
I could never do that.
You have any weird pre-game traditions? Like, I know I can't remember who it was, but there was a documentary about the Leaves during the COVID, the bubble year, where he just wanted to get like shot in the head during warm-ups. Do you have any weird pre-game traditions like that?
I'm weird, but I'm not that weird. I can't really think of anything. I'm more, I don't know, I'm more OCD than I am like superstitious. I have to get to the rink at the same time every day. I have to go in the same door every day. Um, Same order of everything. Like I stretch in the same spot. I do the same legs, every day. And then I play with my lacrosse ball. I go out and I roll out. And then Danville, is something I had to get used to, was there's nowhere to go warm up, like in private. So I'd go out and do it in the concourse. So I'd have the same fans come up to me every day and say something like "Good luck" or "Go get him" or "Are you starting today?" Something like that. And I'd have like a really good game, and I'd remember who said something to me, and I'd have to go make sure and tell them, like, "Hey, you mind coming by tomorrow and saying the same thing?" They're
That's
like,
Yeah.
cool.
"For sure, as long
Yeah.
as I'm helping." So that was really cool, but I don't know, I'm just a creature of habit at that point. I don't do anything
Yeah.
super weird, but I don't know. I like my same pregame meal. I like pregame coffee, and that's about it.
For
Nice.
sure.
Any weird traditions from your teammates?
Well, there's some weird ones. Yeah, there's some pretty crazy ones. Um, I think I don't know. One in Elmira, his thing was to focus his eyes. He would get on his hands and knees and pick up dust off the locker room floor, just
Different.
because he can visualize the tiny little things on the floor. He would like, even if the coach is talking, even if people are screaming or celebrating or whatever is going on during intermissions or before the game, he would be on his hands and knees in full gear, helmet, gloves, picking up crumbs off the locker room floor. I was like,
Okay.
Okay.
I had no
All
idea how to
right.
respond to it. I asked one of my teammates, I was like, "Is he okay?" And you're like, "Just don't talk to him. He's in the zone. Don't
Don't.
talk to him." I was like, "Okay, I'm
uh,
not gonna ever bring this up ever."
Well, that's one of those. If the guy is really good, you're like, yeah, that works. But if like the guy's not good, you're like, no, that guy's just nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And he was
Yeah.
pretty good, but some games I was like, "Dude, you missed a spot in the corner." You know, It's like sometimes you're just, yeah, I have no idea what's going on inside his head. Not a lot between the ears. But I don't know. I've never been one like that, because what if you get to a game late or something, something outside your control happens? That game's ruined. But if you don't have time to get on your hands and knees, then you're just going to feel off the entire game. So I don't know. I try to stay away from that as much as I can, but creature of habit.
yeah. You ever gotten a custom mask that's like fully decked out?
I did in high school. My cousin actually made it for me, hand painted it. That was really cool. It was supposed to look like, my favorite goalie of all time is Jonathan Quick. So it had the night mask, with everything, all the sheet metal everywhere. Had my initials here. I had Speedy Gonzalez on the back of the mask, because I'm Hispanic and very short, but I like to be kind of quick. So everybody call me Speedy. So I like to have Speedy Gonzalez on the back of the mask. And then I had one in college. I got that one done. The school paid for it, and it was really cool. They got me a practice mask and a game mask to match.
Wow.
I made that one look like a mix of Jonathan Quick and Braden Holtby because we were red, white, and blue. So back when
Nice.
Holtby was in like the cup runs and he had those red, white, and blue stars, that's what I had on my mask. But it was like the background was Jonathan Quick's, but had a layout like Holtby's after. So it was really
That's
cool.
dope.
That's
You know, I
cool.
always thought Jonathan Quick had one of the coolest goalie masks out there.
Absolutely. Until he got traded, then he changed the look, and I was like, oh,
Yep.
that's not right. I still love him, but that's just not right.
And then Marc-Andre Fleury had some really
Oh,
cool
yeah.
ones too. It's all those old guys, you know. All the old goalies have the really cool masks. Now they're kind of just getting plain.
Yeah, now they're getting kind of bland. But I
Yep.
agree. I liked Flowers' masks too. Yeah, those have some crazy detail nowadays.
The one he had for the Wild, it was like almost that like demonic looking like panther head or whatever he had on there. That was one of the cool ones. And the ones he had for the Hawks too were really good. I mean, I'm not biased at all, but yeah.
Yeah, and I really like the Penguins ones too. He had one that looked like the Steelers helmet. That was kind of cool. And he got ones
Yeah.
for Winter Classic. Those were great. He just had a lot of style. And then like the newer paint that he had on the Wild one had like the built-in like sparkles inside. So like when
Yep.
the light would come in, it would reflect. I was like, that's crazy. Imagine what a shooter's seeing when that reflection's coming off.
Yeah. No. Speaking of Flower, do you or any of your teammates partake in traditional hockey pranks on your teammates?
Yeah, I like to toot my own horn, but I'm a pretty great prankster. It's one of my favorite things.
Let's go.
One of my favorite things to do. Once you get comfortable with the guys, when you first come on a team, you're like, nah, you don't know how some guys are going to react. But
Right.
in Danville, after the first few weeks, I was like, well, might as well embrace it. And you love the guys. We kept the same group of guys for the first few months. So that's when it was really fun. I love tying up their gear with hockey lace, and then you burn the
Yep.
lace off so they couldn't get it. Or then
Nice.
I would go like every road trip. I would say we go to like McDonald's or Burger King or something like that, a Fed dinner, and you get like a kid toy. So I get a kid toy, and I go to the locker room and I tape it in somebody's gear. So like my favorite is I have a Smurf. I have this little toy Smurf from the movie, and I would just hide it in people's gloves, and then they'd go out there for games and not feel it until they put their gloves on and on the ice, and they just get so worked up. It's hilarious. I loved every second of it. Just hiding
That's
things, and like some guys are pretty OCD, so if you just switch their gloves around, it'll set them into a frenzy. It's one of my favorite
Oh
things
man.
to do. But I love pranking. I love pranking so much.
Is the water bottle prank pretty popular in the Fed?
It is popular till you get hit with it once. Then you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna stop doing that to other people now.
Yeah.
If you don't want it to happen to you, you can't do it to other people. Like I'm fine with them, messing my gear a little bit, but the water thing just is no fun. So like if I keep doing it to them, they're gonna keep doing it to me, and I'm not gonna be happy.
Wet gear just sucks. Like
It does. And then especially if they do it for like a game, like me and the equipment manager, I'd always go by while he's on the bench and just spray him down his back, He always wore the khakis, so it looked like he peed himself. But then he got me at like some fan meet and greet thing, and I was like, all right, we're even, we're done.
It's always the pranks that take it a little bit further than when you're least expecting it to make you stop.
It is. They're not supposed to retaliate. They're supposed to just take it.
Yeah.
What do you get any free gear in the Fed? Like is anything provided for you?
As a goalie, not much. You get sticks. I think you'll get usually around 3 sticks, and then after that, it depends on the team. The team might cover like the small fee to order you more, but if the team's a little bit, under financially funded, then they'll ask for like a portion of your paycheck to like order you 3 more sticks. But at the beginning of the year, they will order you 3 or 4 sticks. Players will get the works. They'll get the helmet, the gloves, the pants, the sometimes like skate holders, skate blades. But as a goalie, you don't get a whole lot. There's not much they can really get you that isn't super expensive. And say you get traded mid-season, they can't take it back. So not a whole lot. That is a bummer about being a goalie.
Yeah. Now, when you were with the Komets, did you get anything with them?
Um, I got a lot of sticks. A lot of sticks. I'm really good friends with Skylar Garber, who was there at the time, um, as well as like Billy and a few other guys that were there.
We
So
had
they hooked
Billy
me
on
up.
a couple episodes ago.
I actually saw that.
Yeah,
Billy's the man.
yeah,
Billy's the
yeah.
Yeah.
man. But
Great
he
guy.
hooked me up with some extra sticks, and then they got me like a practice jersey to keep with my name on it, and um, a game jersey that was really cool. Um, just to remember my time there. Hopefully, it's not my last time wearing it, but in case it was, that is a really cool thing to remember it by. And then they hooked me up with merch. They got me the Under Armours, the undershirts, the shorts, the all the Gitch, all the team issued stuff, which that was really cool. And then I got to
That's
keep all
awesome.
my locker room things. So they let me keep my toiletry bag with the Comets and my name on it, and my
Nice.
locker room stall nameplates that said like Parker Rutherford, Fort Wayne, Indiana, all that stuff. So that was really cool. I got hang up in my room now.
That's
awesome.
cool.
Nice. How
That's
many
cool.
jerseys from your do you end up getting all your jerseys from like your previous years on, say, like Snyder and then juniors and all that?
Snyder, I did have those because you have to pay for them. All the travel ones I have, so you have to pay for those up front. Juniors, I have my Pittsburgh Kings ones because the team ended up folding. Um, Shortly after, before I even left, they're like, "We have no use for these, so you can take them." And then Wisconsin Rapids, I did not get those. So I didn't get to keep that one. Blue Ridge, I never
Oh,
wore. I know, I wanted to, but they were on a road trip and they were going to Wheeling, West Virginia the next day. And he's like, "Listen, I'd let you keep it, but we have an e-bug tomorrow too. And with the
yeah.
only extra jersey we have." Um, so that was kind of a bummer.
They let you at least keep the nameplate off the back?
No, because they had to do letter by letter. So they stitched each
Okay.
letter in individually.
Well,
All
it's
right.
better than flipping the nameplate around and redoing it.
It's just some crazy patchwork. Like in those pictures, you can really see just how much. Like they had an RU, and then they couldn't find a T, so they just used half of a different letter. You're like, oh man. Um, Danville, we auctioned those off at the end of the year, but all the specialty jerseys we auctioned off, and a few fans bought it and kept it. Some of them gave it back to me, and then one of my favorite jerseys was an all orange jersey. It was like a throwback Danville Dashers jersey for our captain's 400th game. It was actually one of the
Nice.
games we actually won in a shootout, and it
Hell
was
yeah.
really
Were
cool.
you playing?
I was.
Yeah.
That
wanted to
probably
do that.
felt really good.
It felt amazing. We only had 3 wins all year, but I ended up having all of them. That was our last win of the year, but my whole family was there because it was the last weekend of the season at home. And my family ended up buying it, and they gave it to me as like a end of the season gift. And that was really cool, but we had to pay for like over $600 for it. It was a lot of
Yeah.
money
Wow.
just for my own game
Yeah.
worn jersey.
Yeah.
But that was really cool. I have that one framed. Some specialty like cancer jerseys and stuff that people are nice enough to donate back to the players or ask if they want it back first, and if not, then they keep it. Um, but I also auctioned off like I took a slap shot. Speaking back to your slap shot stuff, I actually took a slap shot in practice from the hash marks, and it shattered my helmet. It
Huh.
exploded. So it took a whole
Dang.
chunk. Like you could see my face through it. It exploded everywhere, and I had a game the next day. So I was like, I have no idea what to do. So Danville, like the booster club and just the fans, they started a GoFundMe and they raised the money and they bought me a brand new mask overnight. And then
Wow.
I auctioned off my mask that blew up and I signed it and we auctioned that off at the end of the year. That was really cool.
That's awesome.
Man,
Nice.
the people over there just they sound like how Comets fans would typically be too.
Absolutely. They're diehards. That's why I feel terrible that the team's not coming back, at least this year. Hopefully later they will, but they just they just live and breathe hockey. And I feel terrible if there's not a team there right now. Their youth hockey is amazing. Great people going out there and coaching, goalie coaching was super cool. They look up to you so much, but now they don't have us around right now. So I'm hoping that'll still stay the way it is. But I'm hoping hockey comes back there because they were some of the best people I've ever met, and they'll probably be around being my friend for the rest of my life. And it's only 3 hours
That,
away, so I'll still
yeah,
get to see
that's
some of
cool.
them.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you're saying if they come back, you would go back in a heartbeat?
I would definitely consider it. I definitely would.
Yeah.
I would definitely be getting a lot of Facebook messages about coming.
Yeah.
Now, do you plan on trying out for the Komets this year, or is that I don't know how that works with open tryouts if they've
Yeah, I wish there was like kind of how the SPHL and the Federal Prospects League does it, where they have like open tryouts and stuff. Once you get to the coast, they don't do open tryouts, so you have to be invited by the team. So you have to wait for Coach Jesse or Legs or somebody to reach out to you and ask you to come to camp and send you a contract. So it's a lot more rare to sign somewhere in the coast than it is the SPHL. Because like SPHL, you can show up to a free agent camp and maybe get lucky and make it. The ECHL and up, you can't. You have to be individually asked. Um, and I've already talked to a few ECHL teams, but that's not a thing they do until later September once they see who the NHL and the AHL sends down. So it's kind of a trickle down effect. So it's a waiting game there.
So do you do all your own contract work, or do you have like an agent that works for you?
Yeah, I have an advisor. It was Nick Graham, but he just took over the PD Ice Cats in the Federal
Mhm.
Prospects League. So I'm kind of transitioning away from him, but I'm staying in the same HPA family. So like when I was in juniors, I had John Finch, who is also part of HPA. When I moved to pro, I took over Nick Graham. And now they're kind of in a transition period of figuring out who's going to take over Nick's spot. But they're all kind of like Nick can't help me now because it's technically tampering, so he's not doing any part of that. But everybody else that's like on the junior side or the youth side is all kind of coming together to help me as much as possible. But at least I have like a well-known name now, so I can do some
Yeah.
more contract negotiation myself
Yeah.
rather than last year I really needed Nick's help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nope. We had Nick on as well. So
We
Yeah.
did.
What league are the PD Ice Cats in?
They'll be in the Federal Prospects League too.
So could there be a Nick Graham reunion with?
There could be, but my rights are technically in Indiana, so they'd have to be
Huh.
willing to do it.
Yeah.
Now, if you say you stay with Indiana, are they gonna play at the new Fuel Stadium?
In the what?
Are they gonna play at the Fuel Stadium?
They're gonna be playing at like the I think it's called Hamilton Community Center. I used to play there when I was in youth hockey, like mites and squirts and peewees. It's a smaller community rink. It's smaller than the PSM. So once you
Wow.
eat, it's small. They said it'll fit a
Is their
huge
pizza
team
any
of
good?
people. Yeah, they might have good pizza, hopefully.
Hopefully.
But that's where they're
Oh,
gonna end up
man.
playing. That is the one drawback from Indiana is it is a really small arena. But they said the city's gonna try and build a new one within the next 3 years. But in the Fed, you really don't know how long something's gonna last or what rules are gonna
Yeah.
change and how much it's gonna cost in 3 years. So um, it's a tough position to be in. That's why we're kind of in the midst of talking about it. But we'll see. I'm open to anything. Just waiting to hear back.
So
So-
you will be playing somewhere, is what I'm hearing. You just don't know where.
I will be playing somewhere. Don't know
All
where.
right.
And if something falls through and spots get taken and I'm left out to dry, I will be playing for the Summit City Distillers again to start
All right. Cool.
until I get
Nice.
called back up to the Federal Prospects League. But hopefully, I won't have to start in Senior A. Hopefully, I can just start in the Fed again. Just don't
Yeah.
know where my home's going to be yet.
So, excuse me. As a father of a 4-year-old who is obsessed with hockey right now, he wants to be a goalie. What are some like I don't know. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Tips.
Tips. That's the word. Hey, I
There
can't
we
speak
go.
anyway. Tips for either him as a player eventually, and or me as a father who is helping him go to where he needs to be. Anything?
I'm sorry for your wallet, but
yeah.
Hockey in general is expensive, but goalie
Yeah,
development's
no
not.
kidding. I was actually talking to a bunch of people at the rink today because we're losing a lot of numbers in goalies. It's really sad, but like nobody's really helping out goalies much financially, so that's a really big drawback. But once you do get somebody into goalie, any kind of little girl, little boy, anything, um, it's just about having fun. I mean, like I run goalie camps and goalie classes 2 or 3 times a week, And everybody's like, "Oh, he did this wrong. You should tell him." Like, no, they're having fun. If they want to go out and be the next Dominic Hasek, be my guest. Everybody's different. As long as they're having fun, who cares, right? When they get to that point where they're like, I want to do this seriously. I want to play travel hockey. I want to play high school hockey, college hockey. That's when you start nitpicking. But to start, just have them hanging out in the living room and like practice with a tennis ball. Like, it's the
Literally
most fun
does
thing in
that
the world.
already. Like, we
It's-
literally have a little ball, and he sits in front of the fireplace at my mom's house and just throw it at him, and he jumps in front of it. It's awesome. Anyway.
Yep, that's exactly what I did with my grandparents every day when they were babysitting me. They're like, shoot on
Yeah,
me, shoot on me. And they're like, I'm tired. So do it anyways.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's exactly what it is. Just keep it fun. I mean,
Yeah.
watch those crazy Jonathan Quick saves and the Kevin St. Pierre saves. That's what I did. Those people that are trying to turn their kids into robots, like the Carey Prices in the world. I had nothing against them, but like, where's the fun in that? Some kids want to go score goals, but we got to try and transition them away from that and wanting to stop the goals. So I don't know, just embracing the really cool part of being a goalie, the painting the goalie mask, the customizing your pads, the really cool stuff. Just try and embrace that as much as possible, and they'll get hooked instantly.
For sure.
Because just regular forwards and defensive men can't do that, but the goalies can.
Exactly. They might get a lot of cool free stuff, but we get the custom stuff.
Yeah. Right.
Yep. No, that's awesome. Does your other son, Dylan, want to play at all?
He's kind of a free spirit. So I got twin boys. I got fraternal twin 4-year-olds at the moment. Yeah, so Oliver's all into hockey. Like, literally, the moment we get home, we have that little hover puck thing. That's kind of like a fan that blows down and like it still goes, whatever. And so he's like, "Hey, Dad, shoot on me," all that. But then Henry's over there, like with like the dinosaurs or whatever, playing with the animals, and I'm like, all right, whatever. So I got one sports kid and one non-sports kid. So we'll see.
I was gonna say you could get a mini sticks,
Yeah.
get a mini goalie stick. Yep.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
They even have the mini like goalie sets now that you can use for mini.
Oh yeah. I saw this social media guy that like is a goalie, and he has his like maybe 7-8-year-old kid that had like a matching set of pads. Well, him and his wife just had a baby, and then all of a sudden it pans over and it shows the baby with like these tiny little goalie pads on. It goes, and so it continues.
Yep. I think I saw that actually. Yeah, they make some
Yeah.
crazy things nowadays. You can definitely do that.
Yeah. No. But so like, how often do you replace, like, even if it doesn't shatter, how often do you replace your goalie mask just for safety?
It depends. Safety wise, it doesn't really affect me all that much because I was changing usually every time I went up a different skill level. From high school to college, I had to change that. I used a different mask in juniors as well. So I guess every skill level I changed a mask. Just because you're going up in shots, the shot velocity and all that stuff. But say as a pro now where I'm going to stay more consistent, it'll probably be every 3 years, every 4 years. Just depends on how well it's taken care of. So things take a beating, absolute beating. And I've never had a mask explode before. That was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. By a teammate. It was crazy.
The worst I've ever had is I went down on a knee and I dented my shin pad knee. Like, it wasn't bad, it didn't crack, but it like caved in a little bit, and that was at the end of I think it was the championship game where you and I played against each other at the Coliseum. That's the worst I've ever had. I've never seen somebody's helmet explode, let alone a goalie mask. That had to be insane. So I assume they pulled you after that.
That was in practice.
Oh yeah, okay.
That was in
That was
a Thursday practice, and we had a Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend slate coming up. Yeah.
What went through your head when that happened?
Not the puck.
Just a lot. Ow. It was really close to being the puck. Yeah. I've never felt that. It was just like, because you can tell when you get hit in the face, your buckles pop off, your mask feels a little loose. But there, it just felt like you heard like an explosion. It was the craziest feeling. And then you just look down and there's because I wear all black now. Just you can usually see like some paint come off or whatever, but there was big chunks of black, like mask just laying next to me in the crease. And like it hit me so hard that my mask came off, obviously, because I had nothing to hold on to. And I picked it up and I was like, you have to be kidding me right now. And he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? So it was a wild feeling. I've never felt something like that, and I never want to again. But it was just a full slap shot from the hash marks in practice. Not a great time,
Yeah.
but we raised some
Anybody-
money with it.
Nice.
There you go.
It's awesome. And did you donate that money, or did you give it back to the team, or?
I gave it to the team because at the time we were short on funds and everything just from the rough year and sponsorships being down. And towards the end of the year, we were just trying to raise money. And I don't remember where that jersey auction went, but we did it with the orange jerseys. So I think whatever charity it was going to that night, they either donated or kept it for the team to help with funds. But they sold a bunch of my stuff, my sticks. I had a bunch of posters around the rink and stuff. So they did all that, and I was more than happy to help donate that money was being used technically for my stuff to help them get by with the team, because I was hoping it would help them return this year, but it didn't.
All right. Well, we are getting close to the end here, Parker. Before we do, we normally close with a closing question, but I did want to ask, do you have any advice to anybody that wants to move up into like juniors or college or the pros in goalie, like things that they can do to get better?
I would just say really immerse yourself in it. I would say I don't know. I would say immerse yourself in it, but also don't let it take over your life. As I told you before, I skate out during the summers. It helps me take my mind away from being a goalie. But when you're in season, you are in season. You do everything to get better. But once the season ends, take a break. Like that's the one thing I learned from all my friends that are now on the Komets that I train with is once the season ends, I'm ready to get right back into it because you're like, I want to get better. I want to get better. But they're like, dude, just chill out. It's a long season. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to drain yourself. And when I tell people I've been playing hockey it's been over 23 years now. They're like, how do you not get tired of that? It's because I change it up. I don't play goalie all the time. I don't play hockey all the time. I like watching football. I do fantasy football, things to take my mind away from hockey. But when you're there, you're there. You're not checked out while you're on the ice. All you got to do is clock in for an hour of practice, go as hard as you can for an hour, and then don't think about hockey the rest of the night. That was one of my favorite things any coach has ever told me is after practice, he would go over video and then he'd go, all right, what are you doing tonight? And we'd be like, oh, I'm probably going home, play some video games. He goes, just don't think about hockey. Like even the night before a game, don't think about hockey. Let your mind race anywhere else. But it'll make hockey so much more fun and enjoyable and make you want to go further if you don't think about it all the time.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, we do close with a closing question. So the question tonight, guys, is we'll go around and then Parker, you'll be last. What is your favorite hockey memory? Dylan, you want to go?
Again, I'm a basketball guy, so hockey isn't the highest group on my memory. I do remember, I think it was St. Pierre came to my elementary school when they were bringing the cup around. I don't remember which one it was at the time. I was in like
Colonial
third.
Cup.
Yeah, I was in third grade or something like that. But I just remember that was really, really cool. So that's probably the best memory I got.
Sweet. Ryan, what about you?
Probably the when the Komets won the cup most recently. That was
Kelly.
really, really fun time.
That was
Really fun series to be at. The whole stadium being reopened just for that.
Yeah. Colin? Your
Triple
overtime
overtime.
one? Yep.
Yeah,
Triple
triple
overtime, Justin
overtime.
Hodgman, Turner Cup.
Yep.
Dude, you can't beat it. You can't. You just can't.
I would have to say my favorite hockey memory between playing and watching is getting my first like actual goal. Like I've had some weird garbage goals, but like an actual one, both in roller and ice. Roller, it was really great. We had a 3-on-1, and the guy with the puck dropped it back, and I went and OV one-timed it and got it right in top shelf. Is the prettiest goal I've ever had. And then in ice, recently this past year, it was still a garbage goal, but it didn't bounce off my planted foot. It was planted my first year. I will say that it was not a kicking motion. It was just a deflection. But this year I did actually have one where I actually picked it back up and put it back in after it bounced off. And actually getting to live those moments instead of watching somebody else score a goal was probably pretty awesome. As opposed to Parker, who makes sure that people like me don't get goals. So
Try my best.
yeah, Parker, how about you, man?
I'd say either that game I was telling you about with the throwback orange jerseys or my first pro win. I think my first pro win would top it. Just because my first year, like I told you, was up and down, and I was really thinking about just quitting and just going into coaching because it just wasn't fun. Getting cut from 3 or 4 different teams in one year, just being told no was terrible. It was terrible for the mental health. But then jumping into a team that was supposed to be terrible and turned out to be terrible. But we beat one of the best teams in the league in our home opener. And that was my first ever pro win with 50 or 60 shots against. And my parents were there. My sister was there. My grandparents made it out too. And just, I got the first star of the game. And I was able to skate over to the glass where my family was and throw them the little T-shirt, and they just were crying. And it was the craziest moment, and it was something I never will forget. And I have the picture of it actually hung up in my room too.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, this has been it. Thanks everybody for watching. Parker, thank you so much for hopping on with us. We appreciate it. Is there anybody you want to shout out?
Just my family. My family's my everything, my rock. It's why I'm here. So shout out to them.
All right. Well, with that, guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Colin, what do we say?
We say cue the music.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Hey, guys.
See ya.